Welcome to the MoneyWise Channel. On this channel, we're going to talk about inspirational events and a lot of great money things. Always remember success goes to the person that holds on after everybody else have let go. What we do here is people send me videos or I see something and I watch it and I just give my reaction and my opinion. And hopefully whatever I saw, after I tell you guys what I saw, I can give you some inspiration to get up and go do something. Or if you're already moving forward, just to keep you going, just a little bit, just a little push. So today we're going to be talking about the artist named Cardi B. I had seen his interview and it was called Cardi B's interview on poverty, pain, fame, and money. Cardi B's interview on poverty, pain, fame, and money. And her real name is, because I want to before I like to talk about what they said in the interview, I like to give you a little backstory for those that maybe if you don't know Cardi B, and if you do, maybe you don't know some of the things I know. So let me just give you a background on her, then we'll get into what she talked about. Her real name is Belle Calise Marlinez Almanzar. It's Belle Calise Marlinez Almanzar. Different type of name, but it's a nice one. She was born October 11th, 1992. I believe she's a Libra. She was born in Manhattan, the Washington Heights area. That's the area where, that's her hood. And then she moved to the Bronx. She moved to the Bronx probably about age 4 or 5. Her mom is Dominican. I mean, her dad is Dominican and her mom is Trinidadian. So let me get that right. Her dad is Dominican and her mom is Trinidadian. Because I remember her saying, because she was riding a car with her dad, and she said he was Dominican, and she thought that he had hit somebody, and she thought they were going to get jumped in the Bronx. But actually, he was like, no, somebody just walked up and shot the guy. So she was like 5 years old the first time she saw somebody actually shot dead, while she was riding her car, and her dad got out of the car and she seen it. So it started early, the things that she starts seeing. So when she be rapping, you got to think like, wow, because she writes her own raps. She actually helps pen her raps. So a lot of things she's seen earlier be in her head. A lot of people don't know that, but she actually helps pen her raps. So that's the catch. A lot of stuff she be saying is because she lived it. So like I said, her dad is Dominican, her mom is Trinidadian. She was in the Bronx. She was raised in the High Bridge hood. So that's the High Bridge hood, and she was raised in the South Bronx. So that's the High Bridge hood of the South Bronx is where she grew up at. Bella Calise, which is her real name, she start calling herself Bacardi. It was Bacardi B at first, like the drink, because her sister is called Hennessy, like the drink. So that was their thing. She's Hennessy, Carolina or something like that. She's Hennessy, and then she called herself Bacardi B. So that was their thing as sisters. But the problem is on IG, when Cardi B was on IG, they kept, taking her page down because of the name of Bacardi. So she said she thinks that was because of the drink, which probably was because that's their name and they have that trademarked. So she ended up changing her name to Cardi B, and that's how they ended up sticking a little harder. So she went with Cardi B. With her thing is when she was growing up, the teachers always told her that she could be great if she worked hard on whatever she did because it was her personality. Like if you know who Cardi B is today, it's something about her energy, her personality. It just sticks out to you when you hear her talk. And that's what people like about her. You might not even know what she's saying, but she didn't say anything and you just start rolling, you know? So her teachers seen that in her earlier and always told her that you could be something, because a lot of time rappers talk about the teacher told me I wouldn't be nothing, whoop de whoop, but Cardi had a different story. She said they told her she would be if she just focused her mind. So as time on in her hood, she said it was a lot of bad things going on. And she said people looked up to the bad people in the hood, not the good people. So eventually she got it in the streets and she started running around. And she said about 16, she joined the blood gang and she started gang banging. And she said prior to that, in her early teenager years, like 13, she said 12 and 13, going into those age group, as she started, developing more liking boys, that the other girls were fighting her all the time, and so that made her click up a little strong because she was fighting every day after school, she said. So she made her click up, and then she joined the blood game at the age 16. And at this time, she attended the Renaissance High School for musical and theatrics and technology. It was like a vocational school, so she went and checked that out. So she fell in love with music. She fell in love with different things. So that's why, if you notice, in her mind, she thinks a little different than everybody else, because she had went to this school, this high school for musical theater and technology, a vocational school of the Renaissance High, that gave her a different outlook of life. You see what I'm saying? That's why you got to put different seeds in the different kids' minds. That's why in these neighborhoods that's a little tough, they should go in there and make sure the community center is up. Make sure so they can get a chance to get on the computer, to get a chance to learn stuff, hear things. Because a lot of times they work with them on basketball and stuff like that, and those are good, and we should continue those things. But what about if you don't play sports? You need to also be able to open your mind as far as music or anything else, technology. So I kind of like this school, Renaissance High Schools, that they would deal in music, theater, and technology. I think that's a great way to introduce different things to kids that are in a situation that they might not have had a chance before, So as she got older, she became, I think she's around 18, and she started working at a deli in Tribeca, which is a, nicer place in New York, try to be around different type of people. And as she worked there, she just couldn't stay focused on her job. You know how Cardi is. She just seemed like she's all over the place. So the owner finally told her, like, you're pretty, you have a nice body, but you're not going to work here. Why don't you go across the street and work at that strip club? So he fired her, and that's what she did. She walked right across the street, and she started to work there. And she started stripping, but she wasn't telling anybody that she was doing it, but she was making money so she could go to school. So she was taking her money and going to school, paying for school, and she was finally being able to buy her stuff that she needed, because remember, her family was very, very, very poor. They didn't have anything. So, they had love, but they didn't have no money. So she started start making her money. You know what I'm saying? And any of her homegirls that was pretty or they had things going on, she's like, come with me. And she started making money. The problem is, once her mom, she started staying out and really, really going hard in the streets, her mom was like, yo, you got to change, you got to get out. And that upset her. So she said, oh, if I got to get out, then I might as well tell you what it really is. And her mom said, what? And she said, oh, I'm stripping. And her mom lost it. And I guess she was standing beside some steps. It was like 3-5 steps. And she was standing talking to her mom, talking crazy, like, Cardi can talk if she's high and drunk, to her mom. And her mom had enough and kicked her down the steps. So when she kicked her down the steps, Cardi didn't like it. But today she says, I understand when my mom did that, because I shouldn't have been talking to her like that, and I shouldn't have threw that in her face. So, they're good now. But that was one of her stories. But that's sad that, it even got bad between them, that they had to fight. So, like I was saying, she was stripping or whatever. And this is the thing. When she stripped, because she attended the boroughs of Manhattan school for a while, and she did that during the day, and she stripped at night. So she attended the borough of Manhattan during the day and stripped at night, and that's how she paid for it. Now, this is the thing. She stripped at a white club, so she noticed real quick, because she had a smaller chest, she wasn't making money, and also because of her skin color, she know that more of the white women made money, and she thought that was crazy that her and her friends couldn't make the same money. So she said, well, only way I can compete, because my skin color is my skin color, what I need to do is I need to go get a bigger chest. So she went up, took some of her money and got that done, and then she noticed, oh, okay, she started going to more of the black clubs, and she knew, like, oh, because she would go between both clubs, and she said, oh, I don't have enough bottom. So she ended up going to this woman that actually did it, and it was illegal what she did, but she went ahead and did it, paid the money, and she said she got it done. It was painful, it didn't feel good, but that's how she got her body did. Then she started to make a little more money at both clubs, and she was loving that, but she wanted something different because she actually was still started working on her music because she had money now. Before, she couldn't do it. She didn't have enough money to pay to go to the studio. But now she had, with her stripping and getting her body did, she was able to make a little more money. So what she did was she started also going to the studio, paying for her things, making sure she was using new producers because she wanted to use people that nobody really knew. And she started getting that going. As she started getting that going, people started getting to know her. She started to know people in the music scene. Got to know DJ Self, which he's a big DJ in New York because she was stripping and she had her music. So she was using both to her advantage. And then she ended up getting on social media real tough, like I said. So she had the Cardi B name. She's on there. She started clowning on a Vine, and she was clowning on Instagram starting in 2013. Now y'all know she funny, so people start loving her, her whole persona, and start getting bigger and bigger. And then what she did was she ended up getting asked because DJ Self was on Love and Hip Hop, and they asked her to join. So she debuted on there the 6th season. So she debuted on there, and boom, people loved her. They went crazy over it. So once she hit that show, then it was like, here we go. So she started doing her thing on there. February 2017, Cardi B signs to Atlanta Records. She signs a major record deal. Finally, have all the up and downs and everything she went through. She only did 2 seasons of Love and Hip Hop. It was tough on there, just fighting, going through it, and it didn't really pop then. But finally, in February 2017, Cardi B signed to Atlanta Records. They believed in her, and she was very happy. So she kept doing shows, and she kept doing mixtapes. She was so tired. She kept on pushing. She kept on pushing. She kept on pushing. And then finally, because she signed in February 2017, but it didn't really pop yet. She got the check, but she's like, I got to keep going because I got to prove to Atlanta Records I'm going to do this. So finally, in June 2017, Atlanta Records dropped Bodak Yellow. Now, if you know Cardi B, you know that's a big song for her. They dropped it. It went number 1. September 25th, 2017, number 1 on the Hot 100 charts. It beat the record of Lauryn Hill's Doo-Wop, and it tied Taylor Swift's Look What You Made Me Do. So she topped Lauryn Hill's Doo-Wop finally as a female artist to do that, and she tied Taylor Swift's Look At What You Made Me Do. Man, that was a great accomplishment. So, proud of you, Cardi B, or Becca Lee's. Proud of you for what you're doing. I know now you have a daughter called Culture. You're married. My dude from the Migos. This is great. Married Offset from the Migos, and this is great. You have your family, you're married, and just want you to keep doing what you're doing. As it sits now, she has 1 studio album that came out in 2018, a year later after Bodak Yellow came out. Invasion of Privacy. She has 35 singles and 2 mixtapes. And her net worth, because remember she was very poor when we started, and her net worth today is listed at $24 million. $24 million. So proud of you, Cardi. You did your thing, and that just proves again that you got to stay excited about life. We'll be dropping more videos to inspire you. Faith without works is dead. Remember, keep your eyes out for the small things as you're doing the big things. Like and subscribe to this MoneyWise channel for more wisdom. And remember that plans may change, but the goals stay the same. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Yep.